morning, my fellow Americans. My name is Julianne Snyder, and I will be running to be your president of this great nation.
Good morning, my fellow Americans. My name is Seamus Kirby, and I'm running alongside Julianne Snyder for the presidential office of the United States.
What's your stance on our educational system?
We plan to instill a better work ethic for future generations and prepare them for college in a better way that hasn't been used before.
What do you think the potential problems are with the removal of our troops in Afghanistan?
We fear that a rushed withdrawal will make Afghanistan more vulnerable, so we're planning to gradually get our troops out in the safest way possible.
If elected into office, what actions would you take in combating ISIS?
We are planning to continue with the airstrikes that the Obama administration is working on now, and we are going to work with the Afghan allies to contain them.
What do you think will be the hardest challenges in combating ISIS?
I think that containing them is the biggest issue. We have to stop their social media campaigns, stop the threats, make sure that they do not further attack the United States.
How are you planning to lower our debt?
We cut some services that we believe are not necessary for this country, and we're using that to create new jobs and to raise the economy.
Good morning, my fellow Americans. My name is David DiBiase.
Good morning, my fellow Americans. My name is Michael Maniscalco, and I am running as your next vice president along my presidential partner, David DiBiase.
If American troops are removed from Afghanistan too early, Afghanistan could end up just like Iraq in the fact that it could be taken over by ISIS militants. If I'm elected president, I will deploy U.S. ground troops along with allied forces to wipe out enemy combatants in the Middle East. The hardest part in combating ISIS will be stopping their online recruitment campaign, which recruits people from all around the world. We're planning to cut unnecessary programs that waste our money and spend that money to create new jobs.
Good morning, my fellow Americans. I, Joseph R. Anselmo, have decided to run for the President of the United States.
I plan to lower debt by lowering unemployment, opening up more schools with smaller class sizes, and making proper budget cuts, becoming more self-reliant.
What do you think will be the hardest challenges in combating ISIS?
The hardest challenge is decreasing the sympathizers and decreasing money and power in the Middle East.
What do you think the potential problems are with the removal of our troops from Afghanistan?
Potential problems would be that they would be weakened, easily taken over, and possibly having to be re-entered in the future.
What's your stance on our educational system?
My stance on the educational system is that we should decrease class sizes, lower state schools' tuitions, and work on pre-educational systems.
My name is Alexander Nunez, and I'm running for President of the United States.
Hello, my fellow Americans. My name is John Reardon, and I am running for Vice President of the United States.
How are you planning to lower our debt?
By raising taxes.
Why do you think it will be the hardest challenges in combating ISIS?
Because it's a bit hard because they basically have a lot of money to keep have a supply. So money.
If elected into office, what actions would you take in combating ISIS?
Having all the countries, since all the countries don't like them, have them attack ISIS.
What do you think the potential problems are with the removal of our troops from Afghanistan?
Terrorists will regain Afghanistan.
What's your stance on our educational system?
To get rid of Common Core and inspire kids to become more interested in their education.
I think it went very well. I think I said everything I needed to. I discussed the issues and how we could combat them. And honestly, I think everyone is great. All of the candidates seem to have some really great ideas, and it'll certainly be an interesting race.
Speech went well, room for improvement, nobody's in sight, zero competition.
I thought it went pretty well, and I think my biggest opponent is Alex Nunez. I had a lot of competition out there, but I think his was pretty strong.
I think my speech went very well, and I believe that Julian Schneider is my biggest opponent because I feel like she had very good key points in her speech.
I think the speech went well. My biggest opponent is probably Julianne.
My speech went pretty well. Had one kind of awkward pause, but other than that, I think it was mostly okay. And as far as my biggest opponent, maybe Seamus. I think Seamus. He seems like he, has his stuff together.
I think my kickoff speech went amazing. It went overall good. And I think my biggest opponent is definitely Alex Nunez.